We're back. This time we're taking a look at Nunk's Marauder from the OP Blind Booster Reinforcement Packs. And we'll get right in and take a look. We have our standard D'Kora-class dial. Same one we've gotten for several other Ferengi ships in the past. And there's our D'Kora-class. Got the same sluggish movement it always has, missing those one tight turns. It does have a one reverse though, which is kind of surprising on such a sluggish ship. And those three tight turns in red. It is fairly maneuverable, but definitely gets outturned by some of the other ships out there. There you have Nunk's Marauder, Ferengi faction. 3 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, 3 shield. Pretty respectable stat line. 1 tech upgrade, 2 weapon upgrades, and a crew upgrade for 22 points. You have evasive, target lock, and scan for your actions. During the activation phase, you may perform a scan action as a free action. If you do so, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. Gives you that ability to take a target lock or an evasive and then do a scan as a free action. Or any of your other upgrades, you just have to do them first, then do the scan, then you get the auxiliary power token. Then we have our generic D'Kora-class. You're losing 1 shield and 1 of the weapon upgrades for 20 points. For captains, we have Nunk. Captain skill is 6, 1 elite talent for 4 points. After you move, if an opposing ship is within range 1 to 3 of your ship has a scan token beside it, you can perform a battle station action as a free action. Always nice to get free battle stations. Then we have our generic Ferengi captain. Captain skill of 1 for 0 points. For our elite talent, we have Kidnap, 5 points. As an action, disable all your remaining shields and target a ship range 1 to 2 that is not cloaked and has no shields. Discard this card to steal 1 crew upgrade from the target ship. If the stolen upgrade exceeds your ship's restrictions, discard that upgrade instead of stealing it. This upgrade can only be purchased for a Ferengi captain assigned to a Ferengi ship. Definitely an interesting ability there. I like the fact that it says you get to steal the crewmen, so as far as that goes, if you have an open crew slot on your ship, you can take that crewman and equip them on your ship. That's what stealing means, at least by game terms. In the least, you can use it to destroy a crew. 5 points is a high price for a discard, but at the same time the ability to steal or outright destroy a crew member on another ship. The having shields down restriction kind of sucks, but good for mid-game or so when your shields are already down and maybe their shields are worn down as well. For crew upgrades, we have Omag. It's 5 points. Between any of the phases, you may discard this card to remove a disable upgrade token from one of your weapon upgrades. Or when attacking during the declare target step, you may discard this card to target a ship at range 1 to 3. Choose 1 non-Borg weapon upgrade on the target ship with a printed cost of 4 or less and disable it to perform the attack as if it were deployed on your ship. Definitely an interesting card. 5 point discard, but he definitely has interesting uses, letting you automatically re-enable an upgrade or basically let you use another ship's weapon upgrade against them. The restriction of 4 points or less kind of sucks, but it saves you from being able to use like quantum torpedoes on their own ship, which would really suck. Definitely has its uses. For weapon upgrades, we have weapon ports, 4 points. Attack value of 4, range 1 to 3. Disable this card to perform the attack. While this card is disabled, you roll 1 less defense die. If you hit an attack squadron with this attack during the deal damage step, discard 1 attack squadron token for each uncancelled hit or crit result to a maximum of 3. And you may only fire this weapon from your forward firing arc. Very powerful weapon against fighters. There's been a swarm of fighters being used lately. Mostly the Federation ones because of those pesky shields they get, but now the Romulans have their fighters as well, and the Cardassian ones have always been around. Get a -1 to your defense reminder token to remind you that your ports are open, and for use with weapon ports. Definitely an interesting card. It's a secondary weapon that boosts your attack value because the base attack on the ship's only a 3, so you're getting a 4 attack out of it. So there's that aspect to it, but definitely for the anti-fighter role is where I think you're going to see this get its most use. Especially as these ships are kind of sluggish in maneuverability and makes them very susceptible to getting fighters in behind them and getting torn up. So it gives the Ferengi an option there to fight back against those. Last, for tech upgrades, we have Geodesic Pulse, 5 points. As an action, immediately perform an additional maneuver with a speed of 2 or less. You do not lose your perform action step if your ship's base overlaps another ship's base with this maneuver. In addition, you do not suffer any damage from obstacles, but you cannot attack this round. Kind of a good one to get out of the way if you're caught in an enemy fire arc. There's a couple different uses. Use it to get through an obstacle, things like that that you know you're going to run into and not have to worry about taking any damage from it. At the same time, you can't attack, so make sure you use it on a turn where nothing's in your fire arc and it really isn't going to hurt you at all. Very situational, definitely has its uses. It takes your action for the turn, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's not a disable or discard, so it can be used multiple times. Definitely has interesting combination possibilities. And of course, it comes with a reminder token that you can't attack on the turn that you use it. For the rest of our expansion here, we've got our 3 shield tokens. We have our couple reminder tokens. Have a disable token. Have target lock 03 this time. Interesting enough, this ship did not come with an auxiliary power or a critical token. Obviously at this point everybody has a ton of those laying around, but it is interesting to see that they're stopping to put those extra tokens in ships. The last few I've seen haven't had them. And even more interesting with the fact that this ship itself, the named ability, gives you an auxiliary power token, and they don't actually have one in here for you to give. So it's the first time we're really seeing that on a regular basis now, so maybe they're changing. They just assume that everybody has plenty of them at this point, which we really do. This was a blind booster from an OP event, comes from the reinforcement booster packs. Being such, there's no mission that comes with this one. Ship itself is the same D'Kora model that we've had a few times now. This one actually comes in the coppery color that the shuttle was stamped in. And again, as with the other ones, there's plenty of detail here on the bottom, but for some reason, mainly because you can't see it, I assume, but they didn't do any painting on the details, even though it's there, which is just weird. On the top half, they highlighted all the windows and things like that. Definitely with any of the other models, someone with some painting skills can make them look extremely impressive. I've seen a few custom painted ones. But I do like the coppery gold color, though. I missed the Ferengi orange. There we have our base for Nunk's Marauder. 90-degree front arc, no rear arc, which is a shame on ships with such poor maneuverability. And there's our generic D'Kora. Again, 90-degree front arc. Overall, it's a decent little expansion pack. Definitely great if you're a Ferengi player. More options are always welcome. For those who like to mix faction, Weapon Ports is probably one of the best anti-fighter weapons in the game right now. Definitely nice to have that around. That combined with some dice fixing as well as some things to boost up your dice can really level and neuter a fighter squadron in a single shot. As it is, you're getting 4 dice out of it. And starting rolls on fighter squadrons, I don't believe they actually even get a defense. Maybe 1 depending on the squadron. But yeah, opening Mirage, one of them versus a fighter squadron is really going to be lay some hurting on them. I have complained several times about the maneuverability of the ship when really it's not as bad as I make it out to be. I'm kind of spoiled by the smaller ships that have those 1 tight turns. But to be honest, having 2 white turns in there isn't all that bad maneuverability. If anything, it's a little slow at only a 4 forward, but again, compared to other ships, it's a pretty well-rounded dial as far as that goes. Stat-wise, they're a little bit weaker. they're on par with like the base generic Federation ships. Nothing spectacular about it. Definitely some interesting combos in here. I like how they're adding to the Ferengi flavor by having the guy who lets you steal weapons and, well, fire weapons on other ships as if they were on yours. You get the card that lets you steal crew members. And the captain who lets you get that extra battle station, which is really nice as a free action, depending on the situation. But definitely has an interesting feel to it. And so some good well-rounded cards in there for Ferengi players and other faction players alike. Anyway, that's it for this one, and we'll see you in the next video.